to Game Smarter.
Hello, and welcome to the show. My name is Kyron Mountain. This is Game Smarter, and I've already done one of these, but because Fortnite went and updated all of its like behind the scenes settings that you can tweak, we're gonna do another one. So if you've already checked out the other one, thank you, and come check this one out, because yeah, this one's gonna be the more up-to-date one. As of patch, I'll put the patch on the screen, like over there. I'll put it over there on the screen. Okay, cool. So to get to your settings, you're gonna play the plus symbol on your Switch. You're gonna press over to settings and press A. Okay, so the first settings that you're gonna have, these are new. This is now the default left further one, and I feel like these are gonna continue changing in chapter 2, season 1. Because this is what the old one's background is. This is what the new one's background is. So I have a feeling that we're gonna be getting a few new. This page is going to get updated eventually, but let's go over this one first. So brightness, this is how bright the screen is. If you crank it all the way up, it's going to be really bright and really washed out. I definitely think I have trouble seeing with this monitor in particular, so I actually like having it about 10% above what it needs to be. User interface contrast. So this shows you here on the color what the color is. Basically, you're going to make your brights brighter if you bring this all the way up. I personally, I wouldn't. Whoops. See, I love the D-pad on the Pro controller. I wouldn't mess with this too much. Colorblind mode. If you need this, you know what to set it at. I have no idea what the colorblind mode will do for you, but you have the, and I'm gonna butcher these names. Ditoronope, Protonope, and Trutinope. I don't know I don't see a difference, but then again, I don't have the strength up. Let's crank it all the way up and see what it does here. If you know what each of these do, please let me know. Because I guess I could kind of see the llama the best in this one here, right? Because I think the idea is you want to be able to see the llamas in the middle. I'm going to leave it at off. I'm going to leave it at 0. I don't believe I'm colorblind. Power saving mode. Now this is advanced graphics, so you can turn this on if you're playing handheld majority of the time, and it will give you a longer battery. That being said, I almost guarantee you're going to be taking a graphics hit of some kind. I don't know if it's going to be a frame rate. Something's going to dip down, and being on the Switch and already being at 30 FPS, and I feel like Fortnite has lower graphics on the Switch. Basically, think about playing Fortnite on your computer and dragging all the sliders down to low or off in graphic settings. So, I mean, if you definitely need that power saving mode when you're playing with friends or you're in a group setting, definitely think about turning this on. But if you're like me and you're playing docked majority of the time, definitely think about leaving this off. You don't need to turn it on if you're in power. That being said, I'm going to press home here. There is one tip here for if you're playing docked that it's going to give you the best settings for your Switch is get an Ethernet adapter for your Switch dock. You can see it up in the corner there. I'll probably put an arrow pointing at it right now. That shows you that you're playing over an Ethernet connection, and that's what you want to do. You're going to get your best performance that way. Now these haven't changed at all. Language, I would change it to whatever you are. If you speak German, Spanish, whatever, do that. Matchmaking region. The only time I would bother changing this from auto, because it's going to find the smallest delay or ping. The only time you want to change this is I had to change mine to, was it Asia? I changed it to for a Japanese tournament I went and took part in. Otherwise, don't change it unless you want to play. If you want to play with some Australians, go for it. Oceanic. I would just leave it at auto. These settings are all locked because, well, the settings actually are somewhere else in here, and these are kind of legacy settings. At least that's what my opinion is of what these are. Now, the first setting you are going to be able to change is your invert view. Invert view means when right now if I look... Hey guys, I totally screwed up this explanation when recording the video, so I'm going to give you a really quick way to remember this. Normal is basically push up to look up, push down to look down, where inverted is more like pull back to look up and push forward to look down, aka think about it, pulling back your head to look up and pushing your head forward to look down. And then normal again, press up to look up, press down to look down. airborne vehicles. I don't know why my brain does it. Maybe it's from flight simulators and stuff. Always flying simulators are always inverted to me, and that makes the most sense. So when you're in an airborne vehicle, the settings here, not that there are planes in the game, I mean, unless you're playing creative, but that's what that setting is, so I turn that on. I don't have motion enabled when I'm playing docked. If I'm playing handheld, I totally will put this on to give me that little bit of fine tuning that I don't normally get. Note on the Switch Lite, at least when I play on my Switch Lite, I feel like there's some dead zones on the joysticks, so that's when I turn on motion to get that little bit of just a little edge of aiming. I find it's too distracting when I'm playing not portable. Okay, so yaw and roll axis motion. I think you want this to be set at yaw. If I remember correctly, I googled this once before. So from my research, and I could totally be wrong with this, I'm not an aviation guy, I don't know, but I think what it means is your yaw is this plane here, where roll is this plane here. So I think if you're one of those people that turn like this, you want to put it on yaw, but if you're one of these people, you put it on roll. I don't know if that, don't quote me on this. If you know what the difference is, please leave a comment down below and I'll include your comment in the next version of this video. You want to invert motion controls? Well, basically, if you want to take your controller and tip down to look up, I think that would be really confusing, but if that's your thing, they've got a setting for that for you. If you want to invert your turn during motion controls, that would work too, which means, you know, if you would turn left, you would go right. Then next here we have all the basically settings. If you want to copy these, feel free to copy them. I'm going to explain them really quick here and then why I have them set here. So we're going to start at the bottom. We're going to go way up here. Motion sensitivity for harvesting tool. So when you switch over to your harvesting tool, I don't want any motion. I don't need to be looking around really quick when I'm harvesting. It's not that important to hit the targets for me, and I feel like I can hit the targets well enough with the joysticks. Sensitivity well scoped. I have that one set the highest because if I'm playing on handheld mode and I'm trying to scope someone or trying to snipe someone, that little, just every little micrometer counts when you're sniping. So being able to just do that little fine tune, you know, the guy's just really off, every little bit helps. And so that being able to scope and then have that little tweak is perfect. Motion sensitivity when targeting. So this is when you've actually held down the trigger, or later on we're going to talk about an option to be able to just click it. So when you're targeting, have that. And then I have it really low when sensitivity when not targeting. I might even turn it down even a bit more. That's when you're hip firing, when you're not targeting in to fire on someone. That's what that means. So it's nice that you've got 4 different settings. I straight up turn it off when harvesting. I might even turn this one off, and then that way only when I'm scoped, or well, basically when I pull in the left trigger, I actually have the motion controls. Camera and display. If you want to be anonymous, when you know those guys that you shoot and it says anonymous 643 or player 643, I forget what it says. I think it says anonymous these days. Turn that on if you want that on. Hide other players' names if you don't want to see the other players' names, or for some reason, I think the reason why you'd want to do that is if you're playing on stream and you don't want your viewers being able to stream snipe you. Or be able to tell who's in the match by watching your kill feed and their kill feed. This is totally an option. I think you're still going to get caught. You still, like, if someone really wants to stream snipe you, they're going to. Now, this setting is the setting that you're going to want to adjust if someone's trying to stream snipe you, or, I mean, I don't know how often that happens when you're playing on the Switch. So, hidden matchmaking delay basically allows you to put a delay in. So when you hit go, it puts in, you know, a how many second delay before you actually queue up for the match, which means, you know, you could put in, what's the max here? You could put a whole minute delay from the time that you hit go before it actually tries to queue you, and that would totally screw up any stream snipers you might have. HUD scale. Now, if this is something interesting. If you find that the HUD is too much, like you don't see enough of the game and you're seeing too much HUD, turn it down until you can't see it no more. Or if you're having problems maybe seeing how much ammo you have left or certain details that are on your HUD, you can turn it up and make the HUD bigger. So basically 1 means it's exactly where it is. Less than 1 means the HUD's going to get smaller. Greater than 1 means the HUD's going to get bigger. Show spectator count. Now, if you want this turned on, I like having this on because I like to know who's watching me and how many of people are watching me. But one of the cool things about this is that if you do get a kill and it's not a bot, chances are they're going to end up having to spectate you for a little bit. And that's how I know if I learn to read what a bot is and what a bot isn't. Show FPS. I really like this. FPS stands for frames per second. Basically, it's going to show you how well the game is performing. And from my research so far, this is the only method you can see what your up and down is on the internet. And it shows you your frames per second. Basically, this is basically showing you the current running stats of your game. Mark danger when targeting. So I think what this one does is if you place a marker, but you're targeting an enemy, it's going to do a danger marker instead. Otherwise, when you want to do a danger marker or just mark where someone is, you double tap that marker and it'll do a danger marker in wherever you're pointing. I think just leave this one on. I don't see a reason to turn it off. I mean, especially if you're targeting someone and you're marking, like, chances are you want to do a danger marker. All right, now under control options, we have sprint by default. I have this off. I had a comment on the last video saying, just turn it on. I asked them what their reasoning was, never got one. I think if you're playing mobile, that might be worth it. Like on your phone or on a tablet, I think you'd want to turn that setting on. I prefer to be able to click in my stick because I have sprint cancels reload turned on personally. Where I've had it too many times where I'll be reloading and I'll be stuck not moving fast enough. So sprint cancels reload is good, and I think if you had sprint on by default, you'd be constantly, I haven't tested it, don't quote me on this, but I think what that would mean is that you would constantly be canceling your sprint, your reload, and you'd have to sit still to reload. So I prefer having those on set like that. Tap to search. I had a really good comment and a really good reason why to turn this on. I prefer having it off, but Spectral over in the comment section said, I have tap to interact on because I can revive my teammate and drop heals at the same time. Also, if I need to jump away, I just switch weapons. Very, very good point. I'm gonna leave mine off, but I would definitely play with that setting. I prefer to have tap to search off because I like to hold while I'm searching a chest or a box. In case I start getting hit, I just let go and I move. Hold to swap pickaxe. I don't want to hold to do anything unless, you know, it's something that I want to be able to cancel. If I want to switch to pickaxe, I want it to happen immediately. Toggle targeting. Now, this is the setting where you're going to be able to press L or whatever your button is. Instead of holding it to be in scoped or be in focus, you press it once and then you press it again to get out. I prefer the holding, but if you're someone who doesn't like holding, or maybe you have something wrong with your hands or something, that muscle problems that are preventing you from holding buttons down or something, or maybe you just prefer, you know, to press a button to get into targeting, this is where you would turn that on. Reset build choice. What this one does is whenever you switch in and out of your building, if you turn this on, it'll automatically always go back to the same build. But if you have Builder Pro and some of the other settings that I have on, it really doesn't matter because you're just gonna be muscle memory pressing the button you want to build a thing. If you're not using Builder Pro and you want a specific thing popping up every single time you do it, then maybe this is a setting for you. Aim assist and aim assist modes are turned on by default and they're not changeable because, well, we're on a console platform with a controller, and I think just leave those on. Turbo building. Turbo building is if you ever watch someone build a wall and then spin around and just build. Basically, that's what turbo building is. Instead of having to press each time to build, you can just hold it and run. Turbo building, I believe, also lets you build a ramp and just hold it and keep running, and you're just going to keep building that ramp. With it off, I believe it means you're going to have to confirm a build each time. Turbo delete in creative mode. If you do a lot of creative stuff, being able to just delete everything is pretty handy. Unless, you know, maybe that's annoying for you for some reason, change that then. Controller auto run. What this means is if you double click in your stick, you'll automatically run. You'll get a little run guy next to your health bar, and that'll tell you you're auto running. The reason you'd want to have this on is so that you can auto run and maybe check your map, swap an item, reorganize your items or whatever you want to do, and still move forward. So if you're running out of the storm or something, that's really worthwhile. On console, I like to have open auto open doors on. I tell a lot of people to turn this on by default. You're still able to actually close doors. It's just basically if you're running towards a door, like you're gonna go through it, your character will automatically open it as you walk through. You can still close the door behind you if you want, and it'll stay closed. It's not gonna continuously open a door every time you walk by it. Confirm edit on release. Instead of pressing it down to build, you have to let go to build. I don't like that, so I have mine off. Auto pick up items. If you're playing on a hand, like a mobile device, cell phone, tablet, I think that might be worthwhile. Maybe if you're playing on a Switch Lite, but I don't want to automatically pick up items, like junk items off the ground that I don't really need or don't want. So I leave that one off. If you automatically want to pick up items, then switch this on. Do note that even though it's turned off, you will still automatically pick up items. Like, so if you have one shield in your inventory, and you walk over another one, it'll pick up anything else that can stack into your inventory. I don't believe that goes for grenades, but it does go for health items. It goes for traps and ammo. You'll automatically pick those up no matter what. Auto sort consumables to the right. This is probably one of my favorite settings, because one of my biggest tips is to sort your items from left to right, personally from closest range to furthest away range, basically. So your shotgun's on your far left, your pickaxe is even further, but your shotgun's on your far left. And then I would move up to my, eventually my sniper rifles. And then at the very, very far right, the ones I don't, because let's think about it. I'm not going to be using my sniper rifle as often. I'm not going to be using my healing items as often. I can put them at the far right so I can sort them and get to them when I need them, but I keep all my mainly used items all together. So I like this one. Pro Builder immediately build. So basically what happens is if you have Pro Builder on and this on, you're going to build immediately instead of on the release or waiting for it to confirm. You're just going to build, which is probably what you want. Controller edit hold time. I don't think you want this very high. And basically what it is when you're holding A on a building and you want to do an edit. You want this as low as possible. Rumble. I have Rumble on. I know I put up a question on the Fortnite Reddit about, console players. Do you guys use Rumble or not? And I got a big response of people that don't actually have Rumble and they turn it off immediately because they say it messes them up. I don't get that. I like the tactile feel that, I just got hit by something. It just means that I'm able to focus somewhere else instead of on the screen where that target hit. I get hit and then I can look and see where it came from. Power saving mode, another place to find power saving mode. Like I said, this is an old setting and I wouldn't be surprised if it gets updated very soon. Contextual tips don't hurt. If you don't want to see them, that's the button to press. Now, this is some of the new stuff that's really interesting. Move stick dead zone. Now, if you move this, I think 5% is the minimum. Yeah, you can see where my joystick's moving. If I set it that high, when I move my joystick, yeah, like it's all over. Like basically what happens if I set it at 66 like I have it here, and I'm moving the stick a little bit, you can see it opening up. That means nothing. It's not going to move or anything. So personally, I like having it as low as possible. I don't think at 5, you can be within that. So I'm actually going to back out because I want to leave mine at 0. So we're going to jump back into settings here. Vibration, again, another place to find your rumble on your controller. So again, this page is probably going to be going away and I'll probably be doing another video. Controller auto run, basically the same thing. Double click this if you want auto run to be on or off. Build immediately, we've already done that setting on the other page. It's over here as well. Hold to edit. Again, I have mine way low. If you look at where that green line is all the way up here, I've dropped mine way, so it's like I've got it set to instead of 0.2 seconds, I have mine down at 0.13. There we go. Look sensitivity. Oh, I accidentally set that to insane. So 4 is normal. I like having mine up at fast. That's just how I play, and I feel like whenever I play on someone else's account, I can't see a damn thing. It's basically going to be when you move your stick, it's going to be how fast you turn or how fast you look up and down. Same thing with aim sensitivity. Build sensitivity and build mode, edit mode sensitivity. I have these up high enough because I want to be able to do those things very, very fast. Use advanced options. These are a bunch of options you can turn on. Let's see here. There are a lot of things. I probably wouldn't go in here and change any of these settings if I were you, unless you know exactly what you're doing. I don't, so I'm just gonna leave my advanced settings turned off for now. Here we go, our audio settings. I feel like we're going to be getting updated on this soon too, but this is the first start. So music, I've got my music set to 85 because music usually doesn't play in the game unless you're on the loading screen. Sound effects, I have low. Voice chat, I have high because I have a lot of people that I play with that aren't very loud in game. So I turn the voice chat all the way up. Cinematics, 85. I can always go in and change, you know, the volume of these things mid-game if I have to. Subtitles, I leave those on. Subtitles are the words at the bottom of a cinematic. Visualize sound effects is off because if you do turn this on, what you're going to end up getting is there's a reticle circle around your character. You're going to be able to see, you know, chest sounds. You're going to hear people, you'll be able to see people walking, and you're going to be able to see those things, but you're not actually, by turning these on, you're going to be turning your sound off because they don't want people having an unfair advantage. People who are playing on mobile, meaning phones and or tablets, I believe they have the option to have both the audio and these because, well, it's not really a disadvantage, and I think those are turned on by default. So if you play on mobile and you see that ring show up with sound effects of like of a chest or someone walking, then that's what you're seeing. I'll probably have a clip or a video up on the screen. Voice chat, I have mine on. Voice chat method, I have my mic open all the time. I'm not sure what button you would set to be your push to talk, but that's if someone needs you to do push to talk, that's an option. I have mine set to the actual game, but you can set it to party. So if you're playing, if you play a game where you and 4 other people, you and like 8 people are playing a match, but you want to have just your voice with just the 4 people in your squad, switch to party. If you want to talk to the whole people in the group, talk to game. Voice chat notifications, I like having these on. Basically what it means is that there's little pop-ups that show you who's talking if you're on the main screen, and otherwise when you're in the main game, the little speakers next to the person's name will light up when they're talking. More colorblind mode stuff. These are probably going away, and another place to change that visualize sound setting. Again, if you turn this on, you're going to be turning, I don't think you're going to turn your sound off, but you're going to be turning on mono sound, which means you're not going to be able to know which direction a sound is coming from. I prefer doing that, and I prefer relying on my ears, so I turn this off. But if you want that visualization of what the sound is coming, what direction the sound is coming from, that's definitely worth turning on. Controls. This could be a whole other video to talk about, but I think it's pretty much the consensus. Go with Builder Pro. If you're not using Builder Pro, switch to Builder Pro, learn Builder Pro. I wouldn't do Combat Pro. I wouldn't do Quick Builder or Old School. Builder Pro. And even if you want to do Builder Pro and then customize it some, that's probably the right way to go. Now this is brand new. I'm going to blur out my account ID. That's where you're going to find it if you need it. Lifetime refund request. This is now the section where you're going to go to try and refund. So if I wanted to refund, say, my Imperial Stormtrooper, this is where I would do. I'd say an accidental purchase, and I could then submit it. I would burn up one of my tickets. As you can see, I've already burnt up one because I accidentally bought the Raptor and Raptor satchel, and then I returned it. I also made a video about that. You can find that over on the channel. Receive player surveys. I believe this means you're going to receive player surveys in your email. You're not going to get these in games. These are basically account level settings. Filter mature language. I don't see a lot of text chat when playing on the Switch, so I don't think this matters. But if you are someone who doesn't want to see that, or if you're a parent setting up your kid's Switch for Fortnite, this might be worthwhile. Again, I don't see. I think I'm like the only person that tries to use text to message someone. And no one ever sees it anyway, so this doesn't really matter. Auto decline friend requests. If you're getting inundated with friend requests, this is totally worth turning on so that people don't add you. You have to add them. Hide your linked account names. I don't know what that means. I think that basically means people can see your socials if you have them linked. They'll be able to see it through here. Show text chat. Basically, like I said, there's text chat in the bottom left corner of the game. You can turn it off. If you really don't want to see it and don't need to see it, turn it off. Notify friends when playing. I have that turned off because I don't want to notify people because, well, I stream and sometimes people want to join me even when I'm not playing or not streaming, and it sometimes gets annoying. You never know, right? Can receive gifts. Totally turn this on. Do not turn that off because then I can't send you a gift. Import friend, I just leave that off because I think what it's going to try and do is going to, you know, look at the socials that you have connected and import those friends if they have a game. Show on career leaderboard. Basically, there's an option nowadays. I'm going to say don't save. You can see your career now on the leaderboard, and I can press, I believe it's Y, and actually see my score compared to my friends. How is Haida-san above me? Wow, he's above me somehow. This is what you can turn off with that option. Anonymous mode, another place to turn this anonymous mode on. Again, if you're streaming or you don't want people to know you're playing. I think if your friends are around, they're certain to see, but anonymous mode will basically show you as that anonymous player in match. Hide other players' names. We've already gone over it. I'm going to turn that off. I don't need to hide other players' names. Fortnite credits, if you really want to watch the credits for Fortnite and see all the great people that made the game, it's for Carolina and Joel. This is what this game is for. Fortnite. I beat the game, guys. I'm watching the credits. And then legal info. I don't know why you need to read the EULA again or third-party software. Yeah, it's good. That's how. So basically, guys, that's my tour of the settings. If I missed anything, please let me know in the comments down below and I'll redo the video. I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of chapter 2 we get another one of these videos coming out when the settings change yet again. But let me know if there's anything down below with the whole COPA thing coming down the pipe. I don't know what the channel's going to do. I mean, FTC probably sees Fortnite as for kids. I don't see this video as for kids, but FTC might, so my channel might be going away. We'll see what happens with COPA over the next 2 weeks and then before the new year. If you do want to support the stream, or sorry, if you do want to support the channel, head over to gamesmarter.ca. That's going to redirect to Twitch, where I do stream probably at least 3 times a week right now. I just got affiliate, which means that you can then subscribe. So instead of going to a Patreon or something, right now, head over to Twitch, or just go to gamesmarter.ca and you can subscribe there. Also check us out and have some fun while we're streaming. There's lots of people that have jumped in the stream and play along with us. So I think that's about it. Let me know if I missed anything or if you have any questions, and I'll be in the comments down below to help you out. Until next time, go play something! Like play some more Fortnite. Get them W's!